Costa Rica. I'm down here at Rythmia Life Advancement Center. Been here for about 7 years, and I love it. The reason I love it is because I get to meet amazing people. All you guys from all over the world come here and go through our program. It's just been awesome. We've had almost 12,000 guests come through here. So it's really exciting. And people from every part of the world. Amazing guest speakers. We have this week, we have the Reverend Michael Beckwith from the Agape Spiritual Center. He's a good friend of ours, and he comes a couple times a year. He's always awesome when he's here teaching this class and going over all kinds of different cool spiritual principles. So it's a great week. We're sold out. It's amazing. So what I want to talk about today is trauma and how plant medicine helps with trauma and why, and what is it doing, and what is it actually working on neurochemically in the brain, and how is it a preferred method for veterans of the military with PTS, and also all of us that have trauma, not just military, but everybody that has trauma, and it works really well for that. And how does it do that? Well, there's regions of the brain called the default mode network, and those regions of the brain have to do with our self-perceptions and how we view ourselves. And when you drink ayahuasca, there is things in it called beta carbolines, and these are plant-based alkaloids that interact with our body in a way that allows the active ingredient, which is dimethyltryptamine, to be absorbed into the body. And these beta carbolines are called harmine, harmaline, and tetrahydroharmine. And what these do is they allow the default mode network to soften a little bit. And then there's three things that happen is that visualization can come up, or memories of things that happened in the past, or things that we haven't maybe worked on. People often get a little nervous. They say, well, I've been in therapy for years working on my trauma, and I've processed the most of it. Do I have to revisit all of that? The answer is usually no. Usually no. If you've worked on something, you've released it, then you don't have to necessarily revisit it. We do have memories that sometimes come back, but as far as the emotional release that comes with the visualization and the memories, then the limbic system and the amygdala part of the brain release these emotions that we've held on to. Now, if you're a veteran of the military, you can remember probably back when you're in war that, when you were in a battle, your emotions were blocked out of there. And the reason is because if your emotions were present, you wouldn't have been an effective soldier, and your emotions would get in the way. So out of fight or flight response and out of training, your emotions get pushed off to the side, and then they store in the amygdala. And then you behaviorally survive the battle. And then the war ends. And then in theory, your emotions are supposed to come back to you and you're supposed to release them. But that's not what happens for a lot of veterans. They come home and they haven't done this. So that's why there's this condition called post-traumatic stress. That's why it leads to substance abuse, depression, anxiety, suicidal behavior, and all this stuff that we know the veterans struggle with. Now, those of us that are not veterans have the same sort of stuff happening, not maybe a battle, physical war, but there's a lot of emotional wars and a lot of survival that we've been involved in since probably we were little kids, with maybe abuse or neglect or abandonment or confusion or chaos. And so those of us that have those backgrounds, maybe not military, but have trauma backgrounds, will benefit tremendously from this program. And I encourage you guys to come down and check it out. This is a safe place to do it. The big fear for people that have trauma is, well, I don't want to process that because I'm scared to do it. I don't want to feel those emotions. Well, that's valid because those emotions are tough, and there's not a lot of support probably in a once a week therapy session, or, they have to go inpatient, and that's always expensive and hard to do and not always effective either. So a lot of meds exist to help these people, but meds don't solve the problem. Meds just kind of band-aid the situation. So what we got going on here is really, really good because we have a lot of staff and a lot of safety components to help you go deep and process the emotional baggage that you're holding on to out. And that's how you can release the trauma. So come down to Rythmia, check it out. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys, and hopefully you'll come soon and see what this is about, because you're going to really get free finally from trauma and from the emotions that have been holding you back all your life. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Pura vida. Dr. Jeff from